Hello, hello Pisces. Welcome to your January 2019 overview reading. This is good for you if you're a sun, moon, or rising Pisces. And I also want to let you know, no, I am not an astrologer. This is not an astrology reading. It's just for Pisces. And I also want to let you know if you would like the 11 relationship readings for all signs, they're big ones like this. They are all on my Patreon, so I'll make sure to include the link here and in the description box. So check those out, and everything else that you need is probably in the description box. Alrighty, what's going on this January? First thing, in between worlds. Okay, so this is going to be a transition month. Whatever that means for you, it's just going to be that time period where it's like there's some shifts that are happening. It's like you're being tilted one way or another. And so just make sure you're not thinking that January is like the end all be all. There's still a lot more that's going to come to the surface. So let's see what else is going on. We have gratitude. Notice your supports. Appreciate your own willingness. Give thanks for all that's coming your way. That last one's really important. And then the animal card for you is owl. So looking, I really see this as you looking outside of yourself, looking above yourself, kind of getting a feel for all of the different sides that you've experienced. This is like information collecting, gathering that wisdom, gathering that data, taking inventory. That's going to be kind of what helps you this month. The central energy for you in January is the Seven of Shells. You have a lot of options. There's not a black and white decision to make here. It's something that you're unpacking. And let me see what the crossing energy is first. We have the Star. You're not going to go wrong. I think sometimes choice can be really overwhelming, but this is reminding you that even with having choice, even with making different decisions for yourself, it's something where it's going to pan out. It's going to work out. It's going to bring you a lot of clarity and support no matter what the outcome is. And so don't get stuck in analysis paralysis. This is a really great time to exercise trust, exercise your ability to look at all the moving parts and then make an assessment for yourself, make an evaluation, what feels right, true, and best for you. And keeping those things in mind, you can't really go wrong. What you have shifting out in January is the Eight of Feathers. So I think you are feeling really stuck or immobilized in some capacity, not being able to move forward or make decisions, or maybe there was some gridlock you were experiencing or frustration. This is the kind of entanglement that definitely is something that you're slowly wiggling out of, that you're finding your way beyond this point, because this is a mental trap a lot of the times with the Eight of Swords or Feathers. So it looks like you're finally seeing, okay, these are all the different things that are moving right now. These are all the different parts. And remember that you really have to believe that God, the universe, divine source is on your side. That's going to be really helpful for you. If you don't, it's just hard to trust yourself and trust the way things are unfolding. The oncoming energy is Judgment. I'm going to clarify this. Nine of Pentacles. So all of the work that you've been doing really is paying off. And I think that you might be selling yourself short in some ways, because I think if you've been putting in the effort, if you've been applying yourself, things are really starting to solidify. Things are really starting to come together. If you feel like you haven't really been working towards anything or putting the work in or putting in the legwork, then you might find that certain things kind of come to a close or get wrapped up. But at the end of the day, show gratitude for what you've already accomplished and enjoying the fruits of your labor, because you've put forward a lot of energy just to make sure that you're kind of giving yourself that encouragement and the pat on the back that you really deserve. Okay, so I think that things are becoming more grounded as the month moves forward. And then the outward manifestation, we have 5 of feathers, a little bit of sleepiness. This is no surprise, especially with how hard you've been working. I think the hustle piece of getting things done, getting yourself out of this entanglement, whatever that is really opening up different parts of yourself to make decisions differently. And just know it takes a lot of energy, but you're moving into a space that's going to be more solidified, like I said. So this is all just reminding you to give yourself rest, give yourself time, give yourself space. You don't have to rush into anything. It's like this month, if you want to hustle, you can. If you want to slow down, you can. I'm getting that you might want to go at a slower pace just if you need to give yourself rest. But if you're trusting the way things are unfolding, it's going to work in your favor. And in the subconscious, we have the devil. So I think that there's a lot of fear sitting in this, in the subconscious. It's like things are going to appear worse than they actually are. And because this is less about temptation and more about fear. Sometimes the devil is all temptation, but this looks like it's very fear-based. And so a lot of those fears, anxieties, worries of what will happen, how's it going to work out, what should I do next, what if this doesn't go right, what if this doesn't go well, that spiraling is something that you are confronting, and that's contributing to the fatigue that's sitting up here in the 5 of feathers, the need to sleep. Because you can see this owl is like, all right, I'm done, I'm tired, I'm going to sleep. And so that's kind of where there's the polarity here in the subconscious and then how it's making an appearance externally. All I can say is that you can experience fear and be really ready. You can experience fear and make a lot of headway. You can experience fear and continue to push past it and challenge it. All of those things, all of the things you desire are still possible, even if fear is coming up. So just take this as one thing that's trying to show up and it's trying to protect you, but it probably needs to be dismantled in some capacity, and that's what you have the opportunity to do this month. The advice for you is the moon. It's okay to not have all the answers. Don't worry if you feel like you don't have it all together, or if things aren't making sense, or if you're frustrated. I mean, that's okay. This is an integration month. It's a transition month. Like this card said, you're in between worlds. None of this is solidified. It's like you're going to have some good days. You're going to have some bad days. You're going to have some days where you're feeling optimistic. You're going to have some days when you're a little bit skeptical of what you're building and if you're going to be able to do it. Remember that you can be really, really confident and still experience self-doubt and still experience struggles and things of that nature. So just use January as like a trial month, figuring things out month, a month where it's okay to be confused and not have all the answers. That is going to be the best headspace for you to be in. Anything that you're experiencing in January will transition, it will shift. And if you remember that if you're in a down slump, you're going to come out of it. It's going to help get you through anything that kind of comes your way and isn't ideal. The external influences, we have 7 of torches. So you are rising above a lot this month. It seems like things are just getting better and better and better. So I really see that the road is paved for you in a lot of ways, and I think you've probably set yourself up for success more than you realize. But it's just like you have to continue down the path. You can't stop dead in your tracks. It's kind of like this is showing you this is what's possible. You can rise above all of the things that you've dealt with over the past year or however long, and you're going to keep moving forward. So just continue down that path and see what happens, because there's no harm in trying. The hopes and fears, we have the Ace of Shells. Looks like this, this is a really loving, nourishing card. So if you're looking for relationship, connection, harmony, that's definitely coming up. In the same breath, it's also love of self, compassion for self, being really nurturing towards yourself. That is one of the most important things that goes along with the Ace of Shells. It's very hard to attract a loving partner if you do not love yourself, because you manifest what you embody. Do not forget that. It's a really important principle when you're thinking about anything relational. So the more you are able to truly give to yourself, that's really what's going to soothe a lot of these things. So don't be afraid to double down on self-care. The outcome of January is the Five of Shells. I'm going to clarify this one for you. It's interesting. I'm actually getting this as a reflection of the devil quite a bit, like those fears, maybe writing in all the blanks, kind of filling things out with a catastrophe story that can happen sometimes. And then we have Four of Swords. So it's kind of like, don't jump to conclusions right now, because you still need to take some rest. Remember that this is just 1 month out of the year. You're integrating, you're in between worlds, you're figuring things out, things are becoming more solidified. You have the star in the center. But I think that fear and shakiness and perhaps a resistance to trusting or seeing that things could be different, it's causing a lot of resistance. So do your best to have compassion for this part of yourself, because it's like you don't want to bully this little otter. You wouldn't want to do that. You would want to help it and soothe it and give it reassurance. And that's really what you're doing for yourself. And by resting and taking good care, it seems like things are going to improve. Just know that you're shedding a lot in January, and you're still releasing a lot of this and integrating the information. So just know that that's it. This isn't the outcome of your life. It's just one of the energies that's carrying forward that you're still working with in order to get all the information that it has for you in that lesson. Now we're getting into the timeline. So if you're new to my channel, hello and welcome. And we have first, second, third, and fourth quarter. They're about a week each of January. So this will be where you start out at the beginning of the month. We have the Temperance card. So really working to find balance. Again, like I said, this month is going to be a little bit of a mixed bag, and you have to continue putting one foot in front of the other. It's okay if you have a bad day. It's okay if you have a good day. It's okay if you're somewhere in between. Don't judge yourself too much for whatever it is that you're doing with this energy. You're just rolling with it. That's literally all you need to do here. Second quarter, we have the Nine of Cups, make a wish. This is the wishes and dreams being fulfilled card. So I think a lot is going really well, and that might be what's activating the fear is, oh no, things are going really well. That can oftentimes be really triggering for a lot of people. If things are off to a great start or things are improving, there's almost this white knuckling waiting for the other shoe to drop. And I just want you to know that this is all a part of the practice. This is exactly what you need to go through in order to heal, is you have to see the other side, that the other shoe doesn't always drop. And that's what the Nine of Cups is reminding you, is that you can be really afraid and really ready and really skeptical, and things can still be going well. The third quarter is the Hierophant, so it seems like you actually have a little bit stronger grip on where your mind goes, because remember, it's not about having a fear-based thought. Those are okay. That's a human experience to have. But it's what you do with the thought. It's what you do with the information. Do you totally buy into it? Do you catch it? Do you say, hey, I hear you, I see you, but I'm not quite sure about that? That's one of the best ways that you can kind of work with those energies for yourself. So don't forget that you have a lot more power over your mind than you realize, and I think that starts to come to light in the third quarter. It's like you're challenging those fear-based centers that are kind of feeding you, but what if this happens? Or what if this doesn't work out? What if I can't trust that good thing that happened? Take your wins, take the fear-based thoughts, and just say, let's see. You don't need to flip it into sunshine and rainbows. All you need to do is be skeptical. And wrapping up the month, we have the High Priestess. I think you're seeing things for what they really are and not putting so much of, you're not projecting so much towards the end of the month. I think you kind of catch yourself here like, oh, right, things are going well. I think I'm still purging and releasing some of those old beliefs. And that's kind of what's waking up the Five of Shells here, like, well, I'm probably going to be disappointed anyway. That's the part that's still, it's still spinning, it's still running in your system. And so this is a lesson in trust. It's remembering how to trust in good things, remembering how to trust that not everything is a worst case scenario. And if you come from a lifetime of traumas, it can be very hard to believe that when you're seeing it for the first time, or, when you can behave in a way that reflects back a lot of trauma as well. So there's a whole bunch of moving parts here. Now we're doing a 3-card pick, so you're welcome to pick a card, any card. You can ask a question, whatever is right for you. Card number 1, 10 of Pentacles. Think long term. Remember that this month, like I said, this month isn't your whole life. It's just 1 month. It's something where this is a transitional month. This is really highlighting that a lot of things are still in the works. So don't get too caught up in the moment. Look at the macro. And then card number 2, we have the 9 of Rods. Full steam ahead. This is really showing that you have a lot of energy to give things this month, or with whatever you're asking about. And so just be mindful. You might be towing burnout a little bit. You might be edging towards that. So just keep an eye on your energy levels and make sure you're still giving to yourself, no matter what it is that you're pouring into. And card number 3, we have the 2 of Pentacles. So every decision counts this month, especially when it comes to taking care of yourself, and anything you're doing when it comes to relationships, when it comes to just daily actions that you're taking for yourself. These things are all very important. So make sure you're putting a lot of emphasis on the decisions that you're making, and that's going to help. It's going to help motivate you a little bit more, like knowing that each decision has an impact or has the potential to benefit you this month. All right, my friends, that is all that I have for you today. I certainly hope you've enjoyed this reading. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. And don't forget, if you want to check out the love readings, or if you want a weekly sign-specific reading, you can go to the Patreon. I have the address right here. And if you want to work with me one-on-one, you are welcome to check out all the links in the description box. Don't forget, I'm actually a psychic. I do cold reads, so that is my work, but I also have some tarot spread options available. And don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you for subscribing, and I will talk to you all later. Bye-bye.